Hello guys, so today today I'm going to be doing something kind of different, kind of not. It's not anything I've done on this channel yet. So I ordered some new e.l.f. products the other day, and originally I was going to do a trying new e.l.f. products out, and then I realized only one of the three things I got was technically new. One, I don't know when it came out. One came out over about a year ago. It was real popular. You'll see what it is here in a minute. And I was like, I could still test it as like stuff like I haven't tried, but I realized that I have got a ton of e.l.f. cosmetics. I use a lot of e.l.f. cosmetics, so I thought I would do a mostly full face of e.l.f. cosmetics, trying out some stuff I've never tried before, bringing back some stuff I haven't used in a while, and then talking about some stuff I have in my everyday. So before I prime, which you guys probably know what I'm going to use to prime, I did take a little bit of the Quench Hydrating Primer from Tarte, just to kind of go all over. There is some all over face primers from e.l.f. I'm trying to think, I've used the one that was green. I think it was good. I don't think it was like life-changing, but it was good. But I have noticed with e.l.f. before I get on, or before I start, I feel like e.l.f. like in the last year has really stepped up their game. Like, I've always liked e.l.f., but I find that their products were either amazing or just okay, and I feel like in the last year they keep coming out with stuff that is really good. So yay for that. So I am going to prime my skin with what has been very popular, the Poreless Putty Primer. And what I'm going to try today, what I've noticed with this primer, I've definitely used it. The texture is nice. I've noticed mine's gotten a little bit softer since I first started using it, which I like better. I don't know if there's a reason for that. But anyway, what I'm going to try to do is, I like this primer, but I find that it's not as pore filling as I would like it to be. And I mean, as I said, it's good. It's just not something that as I said, I still use it, but not something that was revolutionary for me. But I saw someone talking about using a sponge to apply it instead, so I'm going to see if that kind of helps pore fill a little bit better. So what I'm going to do, oh, I had a mirror, and then I put it away earlier. Where did I put it? I'll just use this one. Is this mirror clean? Yes. So I'm just going to take it on my sponge, and it's going to press it into my skin and see if that helps. Whenever I apply, I can tell part of it is my skin has been actually nice to me the last couple days. I don't know why. I really haven't changed my skincare routine up. Well, skincare routine, taking off my makeup, and I have been washing my face a little bit more, so maybe that's why. I gotta say, my skin does look smoother with me pushing this in with a sponge, so I think this is gonna help. And then what I'm going to do today also, while I was doing foundation and stuff like that, I thought I would talk about some movies and shows and stuff I've been doing to keep myself entertained. So this is gonna kind of be a get ready with me too. This is just an everything video apparently. Alright, so our skin is primed. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm realizing this product is still going to be useful, but we're really going to have to blend down the neck possibly, because when I wanted to try this is a mix to match adjuster bronze, and this is supposed to be to darken, or they have ones where you can lighten your foundation. And when I self-tan, I noticed that a lot of times my foundation is already a little bit too light for me. So when I self-tan, it obviously is even lighter. So you would have thought I would have self-tanned last night to test this, but we'll see. I think this is still a little bit light. So we're going to try this and see if we're a little dark today. We'll just blend down the neck. So what this is it's a mix to match adjuster. They have 3 shades. They have one that can lighten your foundation. The second one I have is to darken foundation if you've got light to tan skin. And then they have a third one, which is to darken foundation if you've got deeper skin, tan to deep, I think. So we're just going to try this. And I'm kind of curious too if you could use this as a liquid bronzer maybe. But essentially this is really cool, and I haven't really seen a ton of stuff like this on the market. So I feel like this is kind of a new, not not new thing, but like kind of different. But I said I just thought it was cool. Instead of having to buy a whole new foundation, you essentially would adjust it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swatch a little bit on my hand, see like the texture, what it's like when I'm mixing in my foundation. So it's pretty dark. Oh wow. So this definitely, I feel like, could be used as a liquid bronzer. It might be a little bit harder to control, but definitely. And I feel like this will nicely match with my self-tan. So I'm going to take this choker off really fast. So we might have to do a lot of blending down the neck, but I mean, it's still a little light, but I'm definitely still going to have to. Oh wow. See, now it matches my skin really well because I've gotten paler. So we're going to have to blend down the neck like crazy, but I still want to try this, so we're just going to see. So it says, there's instructions. Customize your foundation with these adjuster drops. Just one drop, transform your foundation. Dispense foundation onto a palette back of the hand. Add a small amount of concentrate and mix. Gradually add more if needed. So I don't feel like I'm going to need a lot today since my foundation matches pretty well now. But I've got some foundation on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to add this. I'm only adding one drop. I just wanted to see like how like it blends in. Okay. So it definitely like gradually darkens. So I'm just gonna use this. Oh yeah, that didn't make it. I mean, it definitely darkened it a little bit, you can tell. But not, as I said, you definitely can work gradually with this, which is what I like. But anyway, while I am doing my foundation, what have you been doing to kind of like stay busy? I was watching, we rented the new Little Women 2 nights ago, and I definitely recommend that one. And then I also watched Amazon's new movie the other day. It's called Beautiful Boy. If you've not watched that one, I highly recommend it. It's really sad. So I recommend that one. I've also been trying to catch up on shows that I started, including, I need to finish The Office, and then I've also been watching Vampire Diaries. I want to start the spinoff. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else has been really good. We watched The Lady and the Tramp remake. That is really, really good. And yeah, okay. So I don't know if it's the primer, like me pressing the primer in, or if these drops did something, but my foundation looks 10 times smoother than it normally would. I don't know if it was my skin's been better. I don't know if it was the way I put on the primer. I don't know if it was those drops, but I'm really, really impressed on how my foundation blended on. Really like that. Okay. Anyway, so I absolutely love the the regular Camo concealer from e.l.f. And they came out with a hydrating one, which where I put my concealer, like my T-zone is where I tend to get the most dry. I just dropped it, which is bizarre. I tend to get oily not at my T-zone. I don't know. My skin, you never know with my skin. I'm going to put my choker back on while I'm talking about this. Hold on. Okay. I'm just very dysfunctional in today's video, apparently. It's okay. Anyway, this is supposed to be the same Camo concealer, but a little bit more hydrating. That was always the main complaint I've seen. Most people would always comment like, oh wow, I really like this concealer, but it looks too dry under my eyes. So I think it's cool that e.l.f. definitely acknowledged that concern. So I'm going to be trying it today. For me, it's not even so much under my eyes, it's my nose that's a huge issue. I don't know if anybody else has had this issue. And already it feels, as I'm putting it on my skin, it looks, I probably went a little dark. Uh-oh. Well, maybe not. Anyway, It's still, I have a feeling, it looks like it's going to be full coverage, but it doesn't feel as heavy as I'm putting this on. Hopefully it doesn't affect the coverage. It's hard to tell until you blend it out, but it definitely, as I said, the nice thing is it doesn't feel as heavy. So I'm going to blend it, and it doesn't look like it dries as fast, which is nice. That was always an issue I had with the matte one, is it dried super fast. Yeah, this definitely, like, the matte one can be hard to blend because it's really, really heavy. And, I mean, it's a lot of product at once. But it doesn't dry too fast. Oh, wow, that is really, really pretty. That just kind of, like, smooths onto the skin. That is really nice. Yay. So, anyway, back to what I was talking about while I was blending. We watched The New Lady and the Tramp. I thought that was really cute. We've mostly just been watching a lot of Disney movies. We got Disney Plus recently, so I've been spending a lot of time watching movies from it's like the vault, they call it. They have a whole section on that, and I got into the Little Mermaid TV series. No idea why. I just randomly did, and I like binge watched that. I mostly did it while I was working on like schoolwork, because we're currently doing online school. We're supposed to hopefully go back on the 6th of May, but we're currently doing online school, so I've been like binge watching the Little Mermaid series while working on that. I have no idea, but that's what I've been watching. And then we've been watching that, and then we've been watching a lot of we've been watching some Netflix comedies too. Like, we watched the Naked Gun series and the Police Academy series, which is really good. And then another good movie is The Other Guys with Will Ferrell. That one's really good. Trying to think if there's anything else. Well, I think on that I am going to powder. So, like, this concealer, it almost makes like an airbrush effect on your skin. Like, my skin looks so smooth, and I'm really, really liking it. So for powder today, I've got this little, this was like a little contour palette from e.l.f. I haven't used this in a while. I remember always kind of having a love-hate with it, so I'm going to try it again today. So, I'm going to take this, I have a bunch of e.l.f. brushes. I'm going to take this kind of flat e.l.f. brush, and I'm just going to set under the eye with this. I can tell right off the bat I like this, but it's not as good as the Maybelline Fit Me powder. That Maybelline Fit Me powder, if you have not tried it yet, is a serious game changer. But this is doing a nice job. I just find that the Maybelline one, now granted this came from a contour palette, so I don't know that this was necessarily made to like set, but the Maybelline one does a really good job of just kind of like blurring your skin, which I really like. And I don't see that as much in this, but as I said, this also came from a contour palette, so I'm not sure that this was necessarily supposed to set or if it was more supposed to highlight. So I'm not going to judge this too harshly, I guess. But I am going to take this flat e.l.f. brush and do what I normally do afterwards and just set my whole face. It is doing a good job, though, of, like, my makeup looks set, it feels set. So it's doing a nice job. I just don't know that I would reach for this over my Maybelline one. Okay. So, for contour today, they've got kind of a contour shade and a bronze shade. So I think I'm going to do what I sometimes tend to do, where I kind of do, like, a light amount of general contouring, or general bronzing, and then I go in with a contour shade. So, I'm going to take that, and then we're just going to bronze and then contour. So now that I have talked about the movies and shows I've been watching, let me know what you have. I'm always looking for new recommendations. I've been really into watching movies in general lately. Like, I'm trying to think. I watched like 3 yesterday. Did I watch 3 yesterday? I did. I watched, after schoolwork, I watched Beautiful Boy, and then I watched The King, and then we watched Lady and the Tramp. I'm almost done with The King. I'm not done with that one yet. That one is good, but not like my I don't know. I haven't decided what I think of it yet. I'm only about 30 minutes in though, so that's part of it. And then I feel like I started another one. I don't know. But no, anyway, recommend any movies that you have. I'm always looking for new movies and shows to watch. That's been one of my main sources of entertainment. I really have been enjoying watching those movies while I enjoy watching movies lately while I'm writing. I've been doing a lot of journaling. What I've got is I have 2 journals, and I've always kind of kept like a more like personal journal. I kind of off and on how often I use it, but I do tend to enjoy kind of having one of those. And then I've also been having a separate journal that's kind of fun, just talking about like what's been going on with quarantine and stuff like that. My mom saw something about that, like it'd be cool if you like wrote about that for like future or whatever, so I've been doing that. So that has been fun and relaxing. And then I also have been spending some time doing just like a general workout, since I normally do color guard and winter guard, not to be like, I've been trying to keep active, so we've been taking a lot of walks. And also, as I said, I've been doing I can't remember the name of the app now. It's like a workout app. It's like advertised as like a workout app for women. It's like WW and it's like a pink square. But their whole thing is they come out with like a daily 7, and it's like a 7-minute, it takes 8 minutes. It's kind of funny. They call it 7 minutes, but it takes 8 minutes. They call it like a 7-minute workout, and essentially it's just like a general like workout to keep you active, which I've really been enjoying. Anyway, so I really like how like, I actually like this a lot more than I remember liking it. It's definitely more on the neutral side, but yeah, it's just like a very like neutral kind of like airbrushed contour type thing. I think I'm gonna end up reaching for this a lot more than I was before. So there is a blush, can't open it back up. There is a blush shade in here, and I remember liking it, but I think I'm going to use a blush that I highly recommend. I really like it. This is e.l.f.'s blush in bright pink, and it looks a lot more bright than it is, but it's actually, it starts off very subtle, and then you can build it up. I've been trying to use, I haven't decided what I think of this brush yet. This is the Cheyenne B Miami brush. I got it in my Ipsy. It's a blush brush. I have not decided if I love this or not yet, so I've been trying to use it more. But anyway, this blush is like really pretty. It's a nice pink. It's just your general pink, and I feel like you've definitely got a lot of room before it goes overboard. So I feel like if you're just starting with makeup, you'll really like this. That was kind of the main complaint online. If you're looking for something that's just like right off the bat pigmented, you might not love this as much just because you have to build it up. But I feel like it's really nice to build up, which is what I like about it. So I'm going to just take my sponge and I'm just going to push this in a little bit because I did go a little heavy. And I gotta say, I'm looking at my foundation, and I think the trick with that primer really is pushing it in with a sponge, because I'm noticing such a difference in my skin today, which I like. And that concealer, once again, really like it. It made my skin look a lot more like airbrushed and hydrated, so that is a positive. So for highlights today, I was gonna see, I don't have any e.l.f. highlights, I don't think. I was gonna look, for eyes today, I was gonna use the Opposites Attract palette, which I've never used before. And I was hoping there would be a shade I could kind of use as a highlight. I could kind of use Low Key as a highlight. We'll try it. Actually, what I think I'm gonna do, I am gonna use Low Key, but I'm gonna add it on to, I've got this highlighter I've also been trying to use more from my Ipsy. This is the Space Case Cosmetics highlight. I think I'm going to use this as kind of like a base and then take Low Key over that. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna start off with this highlight because it's a more subtle highlight. It comes off a lot brighter on camera, but it's a glowy but yet subtle highlight, which I like. but I'm going to use that as kind of a base today. I'm going to bring a little bit under the eyes too, because that does a really nice job. Just makes your skin look glowy. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to take this really small brush. I'm going to go into low key. Then I'm just going to use that. Let me grab my mirror. I'm just going to use that. Oh, wow. So it's a lot more like, it's very pretty, but it's definitely a lot more purple than I thought it was. We're going to have to blend that. This is going to, actually, I'm going to take a little bit in the inner corner because this is going to be a really nice inner corner shade. But for a highlight shade, this is really like iridescent. It's a lot darker than I thought because like in the pan you can see like it shifts to a purple. But now that I'm blending it out, and I'm going to take a little bit of the Rachloves palette, I'm going to use Clutch and just kind of use that to kind of neutralize it out. But that'll look nice. Okay, we're good. Like now that I got that to neutral out. And that's nothing against this palette. Like none of these were intended to be highlights. They're all eyeshadows. So like there's nothing wrong with that. It just did not work like I expected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime my eyes. I'm going to do my eyebrows. And then I'm going to prime my eyes. I forgot to grab what I needed. Let me find, wait, so sit here. Maybe. Oh, I found it. Okay, that was fast. So for eyebrows today, I'm going to use the e.l.f. brow pencil. And this is one of those products. It has, I'm trying to think, I feel like someone was talking about it the other day. I like this eyebrow pencil, but I like this eyebrow pencil, but I think it's much better if you prefer very natural brows. I really like a dramatic pomade for my eyebrows. So I find that I would prefer this to be a little bit more pigmented. This is in, I think, what they call black. And as you can see, I mean, it's like a very, very dark brown, blackish tone. I just kind of wish it was a little bit darker and a little bit more pigmented. But it does do a nice job. So I'm going to use that for my eyebrows today. So while I'm doing my eyebrows, another thing you can comment below. Also, what has been like your favorite or movie or TV show recommendations? But also, just in general, what is some fun stuff that you have been doing? So I'll be back. I'm going to do the other eyebrow. So as you can see, though, you definitely can build with this, which is really nice. You can build with it, and then I just like take my spoolie and blend it. So I said it's a nice eyebrow product. If I'm going for kind of a more natural day, I really like this. It's just a little bit light for me. So I'm going to do the other eyebrow, and then I will be back to prime my eyes. Okay, so I did my eyebrows. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to prime my eyes. So what I did in another video where I was doing like bright colors, I used a brush to apply this. But today I think I'm just going to use my fingers. Because I think most of the shades I'm going to use are more of the neutral type shades. There's some purples and some greens. But I think I'm going to save those for Easter. So I'm just going to use my fingers to apply this primer. And if anything, like when I first got it, I liked it with a brush better. Lately, even when I'm dealing with bright colors, I find I like applying it with my finger better. So you definitely can experiment with this and see what you like. I feel like you use less. I like this primer a lot, but it's definitely a less is more primer, or it can kind of like bunch together, if that makes sense. When you use your finger, I find it doesn't bunch as much. I also didn't do as dramatic of a brow, so I don't feel like I need to kind of like trace my brows or whatever. So that just is kind of on personal preference. So what I'm going to do, this is the Opposites Attract eyeshadow palette. I really wanted to try this because I know Tati talked about it, Rachloves Life talked about it, and they both were talking about how they really liked it. So I wanted to try it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it swatch this first, and then I will actually try it on my eyes. So, I'm not good at swatching, but we're gonna try. So the first shade, I don't know if it's gonna show up, is Fresh. Oh wow, that actually showed up better than I expected. In first impression, that eyeshadow like felt like super like smooth and soft. Next is Spicy. I'm starting with the first row. That's a really crooked swatch. Pretty. And what I have talked about, I think I've talked about on here before, is I am swatching just to get an idea, but I find that eyeshadows perform differently on your eyes a lot of times than they do when you swatch them. So I like to swatch them, but I don't necessarily 100% go based off swatches. Obviously a better eyeshadow is going to swatch better, but I mean, I enjoy using the Gilded Violet palette from Milani, and that one did not swatch well at all. So I'm definitely going to take this, what do they say? Take it with a grain of salt. But I still wanted to see. And I can say right off the bat, I'm going to do one more layer of Spicy. This is pretty, but I thought it was going to be a little bit more shimmery. But it is kind of like a nice metallic. So next I'm going to go into Sassy, which I thought would be a really nice shade for just like an everyday type crease. I don't know why I keep swatching so crooked. I'm going to do one more layer. That one's a little bit more faded than I expected. I think that's one that's definitely going to look different on the eyes. Next is Low Key, which is what I tried to use for highlight today. I'm going to okay. Low Key. And then I'm going to go into the shade Calm, which is this really nice like gray. And that actually swatches a lot better than I thought it was going to. So it's like this like grayish violet shade. It's pretty. And then the last one on this row is Clever. That's actually a really nice like metallic shade. There is that brief little chunk, but it's not too chunky. It's really soft. So this is the first row. I'm going to clean my arm off and I will come back for the second row. Okay, my arm is clean, so I'm going to do the second row. Do I have a little, I've still got like this baby swatch right here. Also bear with me with these swatches. I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to swatches, so I'm trying. So now I'm going to do the second row. So this next shade is called Bold. That's really pretty. It kind of reminds me of Spicy, where it's right off the bat not as shimmery as I expect. But I think if you use a little bit of a setting spray, it definitely would. But that's definitely a really nice metallic. It's a lot more metallic-y in person than it is on camera. Next is Cheeky, which I think is another nice everyday shade. Oh wow, that's a lot more pigmented than I expected. That's really pretty. Why is my arm getting tired? Okay. Next is Happy, which is this nice yellow shade. That's also like really pigmented. And all these shades so far feel like really soft, which I like to have like a nice soft eyeshadow. So that's definitely something I like. Next is Witty. That's really nice. It's similar to Calm, but it's a little bit more brown toned, obviously. And then we've got Smooth. These two shades are very similar. This one's got a little bit more of like a warmer undertone. They're very similar. And then Chill, which is this nice shimmery purple. I'm going to do one more layer over that. That one's nice. It's a little bit like darker than I expected, but I like it. Okay, I'm going to clean off my arm and do the last row. Okay, so now we're going to do the last row. So I'm going to start with Saucy, which is like this like mustard type orange almost looking. Oh, that's a lot more. That's more like a burnt orange, which is pretty. And then Daring. That is really nice. I think this is my favorite metallic out of the palette so far. And then Warm, which is this nice brown. Easygoing, which is like a violet. That's really pretty. I really like that. This is Wise, which is green. That's a nice matte green. And then Genuine, which is a black. And that's actually a lot more pigmented of a black than I expected. So I'm definitely excited to try these. As I said, I know a lot of people were saying a lot of good things. I know when e.l.f. first started coming out with eyeshadow, it was very like hit or miss, but I've heard that the new palettes are a lot better. So I'm definitely excited to try it. This comes with 18 shades. And I like that it's a nice mix of you've got some cool tones, but you've also got some warm tones, and you've got some brights and some neutrals. And it's kind of cool on the back. I always love when palettes do this. It's got a little tutorial based off colors that they think will go together well. So, okay, I see what they did. So what they did is they've got the shades, and then they also talk about kind of like what, like if you prefer like this middle one, it's like if you prefer a cool tone, they recommend Calm. Where's Chill? Oh, Calm, Chill, and Mellow, which is... Where'd it go? No, I read it wrong. That's a shock. Calm, Chill, and Wise they recommend going together, which I think I actually probably am going to do a look with those. Those look really nice. I was planning on kind of using this like cool tone side. They did kind of split it with your warm tones, your cool tones. I think I'm going to use, as much as my outfit screens warm tones, I'm feeling cool tones today. So that's probably what we're going to do. So I think I'm going to start with, I think I am going to actually start with Calm, kind of like a nice transition shade. So there is, I can already tell, there definitely is some kickback, and it's going to be, there probably is going to be some fallout, but I have noticed, I know some people don't like fallout. I find a lot of times palettes with fallout tend to be more pigmented and tend to blend better, so I definitely don't have a problem with fallout. Oh wow, that's a lot more pigmented than I expected. Which is not a complaint, like I'm good with that. And this palette I think is only $15, which for the amount of shades you're getting is definitely good. And then let me grab, but yeah, that's really, really nice. And that's just blending with little to no effort. And there really is not, I thought there was going to be a ton of fallout, and I've got no fallout yet. But yeah, that's really, really nice. So I'm going to dip in, and we're going to do the other eye. We've got both eyes with the gray, which I really, I'm impressed by that gray. Like, a lot of times, like, I find that grays are kind of, you don't see a lot of grays. And I feel like the grays I have used have not been the most pigmented in the world. They've been kind of hard to blend. But, I mean, I really had no issue blending that at all. And I feel like that's a really nice transition shade. So, right off the bat, I'm liking this. So I think I'm going to actually go into Easy Going, bring in a little bit of a purple. In my crease, we're going to see, because I like Chill, but I'm kind of want a more vibrant purple. That pairs really nicely with the gray, actually. And once again, I mean, these shadows just kind of like, I can't even describe it. It's something about the blend is such a different texture. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but something about the blend, this is going to sound really bad because usually chalky is not associated as something good, but like the blend kind of like, if you've ever like colored with a bunch of chalk and then you kind of take your hand over it and kind of like smooth it out, this seriously kind of reminds me of that, which is a good thing. Like, I'm liking that it's got kind of like, it reminds me of kind of that chalk blend, but it's not like chalky consistency. As I said, usually chalky is not looked at as a good thing, but this is, that I meant that as a positive. That's really nice. So I'm going to see what shade I want to use next. want to take Daring on the lid. I was debating between Clever and Daring. The Clever might go a little bit better. Hold on. We're going to re-swatch and see. Which one's which? Okay. Yeah, I feel like Clearing's... Yeah, Clever. I just tried to put Daring and Clever together. Clearing. I feel like Clever is probably going to match a little bit better. So I am going to take a flat brush and I'm going to spray it with a little bit of setting spray. I just feel like it's going to do a little bit better with a setting spray. And I'm going to go into Clever. Yeah, that setting spray really, I can already tell, helped. That's really pretty. But yeah, no, that's really, really pigmented, really nice. Quickly glides on. It's a nice metallic. Really, as I said, I'm really impressed with these shadows so far. So now I'm going to take a smaller brush and I think I'm going to start with Smooth, and if I want to take a little bit of Genuine, I can. But I'm going to start with Smooth. And I'm just going to kind of work that on the outer corner. Like so. Yeah, you know, originally I was like, oh, I'll take Genuine on the outside. But I think this brown is going to be enough. It's just kind of like a subtle smokiness that I really like. Yeah, I said it's very subtle. Like I wanted kind of like, I wanted a little bit of smokiness, but I didn't want it to be too over the top, if that makes sense. And I'm noticing very minimal fallout. Like there's a little bit of fallout I've got, which is super easy if you've got just like a fluffy brush to just kind of wipe that away. But no, very minimal fallout, very pigmented, it's a very nice blend. I really don't have any complaints about this eyeshadow so far. It's nice. Actually, this kind of reminds me of, I mean, obviously very different colors, but the setup initially reminded me of Born to Run. And that was just one of those palettes I was thinking of where I'd like Born to Run. But I feel like this almost blends just a little bit easier than Born to Run does. So that's just kind of like an example of like how well these are performing. That's really nice. And then what I'm going to do before I bring this down too much is I'm going to take this shade Witty very lightly. I'm going to take a different. So I had a fluffy eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. and I guess it just decided to run away because I cannot find it. Oh wait, did we find it? I found it. So this, I have got one e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. I do need to, I need to eventually pick up some more. This one, I don't necessarily recommend it a ton. I find that it's kind of weird whenever you're trying to like directly apply pigment. But if you're doing what I'm about to do now or blending, this one works nicely. So I'm going to just really, really lightly go into Witty. You don't want to go super crazy. I'm just going to lightly take this on the outside just to kind of smooth out that blend a little bit. You aren't going to see it a ton. It's definitely not made to be super, super vibrant. It's just, as I said, it's just helping to blend out any harsh lines and just kind of makes everything come together. So I think I'm going to take Calm in my lower lash and Easygoing in my waterline. I think that would be a pretty pop. So, just going to take this angled brush. Oops. What have I done? Okay. Alright, going into Easygoing. I'm just stamping this in the waterline. Everybody talks about their face when they do mascara. I always get a really strange expression when I'm doing my waterline. Okay. Yeah, that looks really, really nice. It's just kind of like adding a pop of color, bringing out, I like purples because I find it brings out the brown in my eyes. Purples and kind of blend that out just a little bit. Purples and blues I find do a really good job at that, so I like that. So now I'm going to take this kind of smaller fluffy brush. I'm going to go into Camo, which is that gray one we used initially, and I'm going to use that in my lower lash line just to kind of match the smokiness of what I've got going up top, like so. So I'm going just a little bit. It's kind of messy right now, but I will take this kind of fluffy blending brush I had and just go through and blend it. And then a trick you can kind of do if you go a little crazy under the eye is just taking a powder. Usually I would take my Fit Me powder, but since this is an e.l.f. video, I will take this powder and just go underneath. Wow, so this powder, I guess, was initially meant to be a highlight, because whenever you like, that actually has got a lot more of a sheen to it than originally it looked like it did. So now my under eye is really, really shimmery. Wow, that is like really, really shimmery. I'm going to add some to the cheekbone. I've been using this as like a powder to like powder your face, but it turns out that if you use a smaller brush, it's a really nice highlight. The more you know, I guess. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and take my Fit Me powder then, and I'm just going to work under a little bit where I've got a lot of that gray and just kind of make it not look as harsh. Like so. Okay, so I'm going to grab, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the lipstick, and then I don't have an e.l.f. mascara. I don't know if e.l.f. makes mascara. I know they started making lashes. I have not gotten a chance to try that yet. But I said I don't know that e.l.f. makes mascara. So I'm just going to quickly use my Essence one, grab a lipstick, and then we will finish this off. Okay, so for lipstick today, I'm going to use one of their lip crayons, and I really like now. I've been using their lip crayons for years. I absolutely love them. They also now have got liquid lipsticks, and I think in every shade they have in the lip crayon is now in a liquid lipstick. So I've got a Praline liquid crayon and liquid lipstick because I love the shade Praline. I'm going to talk about, I've got two favorites out of their lipsticks. It's Praline and Wine, which is, I'm going to use Wine today for kind of a pop of color. I need to get a Wine and liquid lipstick, but if you prefer liquid lipstick, they do come in that. But they also have got these nice lip crayons that have got little sharpeners at the end, which I really like. So I'm just going to apply this. But they're just really pigmented and they glide on easily. Yeah, they're just really pigmented and nice. I said this is a really nice, just kind of like pop color. What I'm going to do is I am going to add a little bit of gloss. I don't have an e.l.f. gloss, and I know e.l.f. makes glosses, and I've heard good things about the glosses. I need to pick up a gloss. But for now, I'm just going to use my normal Revlon one in Supernatural to go over it. But no, these lipsticks are really nice. I am wishing I used an exfoliator first though, because that is the one thing about these is they are pretty matte and they can kind of show the lines, but other than that, really like that. So this is our finished look for today. I've got to say, everything that I've used from e.l.f. today, I've 100% liked. Like, all of these have been great. I definitely will be curious to see more on how much you can darken your foundation when I use this with a self-tanner. I definitely will be continuing to play with the shades in this palette. I love this palette. Like, can just right off the bat say, like, I've used it once, already love it, really, really like it. Minimal fallout, super pigmented, super soft, easy to blend, 100% recommend. The primer, I feel like did a much better job when you use it with a sponge. Do that. This eye primer I've been liking better with my fingers lately, so I recommend that. Hydrating concealer seems to be doing a really, really good job. I'm still having my normal lines across my forehead. Not really sure how to get rid of those. That's just something I have to deal with. This concealer, I feel like my nose looks a lot more smoother than it normally does. It's not picking up on dry patches, which I would hope. It's a hydrating concealer. Blends super easy, blends super nice. It doesn't feel as heavy, but yet it still looks full coverage to me. So I really, really like the concealer. Was there any other e.l.f.? This I will be starting to use again. I forgot how much I liked this. As I said, it's a lot more of a neutral contour, so obviously I'd be using this either as a base or would be using something else if I wanted a more like bold contour, but if you just want something quick every day, this is really nice. That highlight, be careful with this. It is a lot more shimmery than when you first go to use it, but still very nice. Is that everything? Brow pencil, haven't used it in a while. Still kind of on the fence with this one. I like it. I think if you like natural brows, you will love this. For me, it just doesn't necessarily fit what I do with my brows normally. And I think that is it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Comment down below any suggestions. My two like comment questions. I'm gonna start trying to do like comment of the day type thing. Obviously I've got 2 more videos that I pre-filmed before this, so if those come out after this one, it won't have that, but I am going to start trying to do that more. So that will be, do you have any movie recommendations, preferably on Netflix, Prime, or Disney, but we can rent them, so let me know your movie and TV show recommendations, and also let me know what you've been doing to stay busy. I'm short-term memory loss. But anyways, comment those things down below, subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Bye.